Hi, and we're back talking a little bit more about arthritis, specifically osteoarthritis. And as you probably remember from previous videos, we talked about the difference among the different types of arthritis, right? There's rheumatoid, there's psoriatic, there's lots of different types of arthritis. Osteoarthritis, or bony, osteo meaning bony arthritis is the one that's the most common. And chances are you've got some of it in your body. How much you have really depends on how old you are. The older we get, the more arthritis we have, the more wear and tear, the more years of use and sometimes abuse starts to pile on, right? And as that starts to happen, often we can start to notice more aches and pains in our joints. Often we can even feel like we can predict the weather due to the amount of arthritis that's in our joints. Well, we talked about the spine a little bit before. Let's talk about the peripheral joints. We've got certainly the ones most affected often are the shoulder joint, which because of its big range of motion can be affected and can become arthritic and certainly injured. And injuries too play a role, right? Everything that's ever happened to your body, everything that's ever happened to my body, just like it creates a memory up here. There's a memory in our body. There's a memory in those joints. Right? And those injuries pile one on top of the other. So everything that's happened to us physically is in there. All right? And that damage is compounded with future injuries and just even compounded by the normal wear and tear and how we use our bodies every single day. So when it comes to the peripheral joints, the joint I think that's the most important is this guy right here. Okay, and if you probably recognize this as a knee, this happens to be a model of a right knee. Okay, so you guys are looking at it from the front. All right, so what do we have here? This is your patella, the kneecap. Okay, out here we have the small bone that's on the outside, so this is the outside of the knee. Okay, this is the inside of the knee. The outside of the knee, we also have the fibula, okay, which is the small bone, the tibia, which is your shin bone, and this big thigh bone is your femur, okay? So the knee joint itself is a hinge joint, unlike the shoulder, which is a ball and socket joint. As a hinge joint, it is a really pretty simple joint, but very, very important and very complex in its structure, and we'll talk more about that in the future. But keeping the knees healthy is so important because motion is so important. Keeping our bodies in motion, right? Bodies in motion tend to stay in motion. Bodies at rest tend to stay at rest. We don't want to be at rest. We want to be able to stay active because that has a great impact on our heart health, or the health of our lungs, circulation in the body, proper digestion, and also up here. You know, if we're not moving, if we can't do the things we want to do, if we can't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be happy campers. And we certainly want that. If we can't do the things we want to do with those that we love and be active, we're not going to be happy. So we have to take care of the joints. And I think the knee joint is one of the most important. In the future, we're going to be talking about how specifically we can keep this joint healthy, how we can slow down the arthritis process in these joints. It's so important to do. And by taking good care of the body along the way, it also reduces the risk of us needing to have serious surgery, like a knee replacement in the future. That can be avoided as long as we do the right things for our body, and specifically in this case, we're talking about the knee joint along the way.